Alright, so let's go ahead and go over the review sheet for 9.1 through 9.3. We're going to start off with going over number 1, and in this problem we know that AB is equal to 2x plus 7. We know that CD is equal to 3x minus 2. Now, if I complete these triangles, notice that I have two isosceles triangles, and I know that all of these are congruent. So since I know that all of those are congruent, if I have two isosceles triangles that have the same altitude measurement of 8, I know that those two isosceles triangles are congruent. Okay? So with that, I can say that 2x plus 7 is equal to 3x minus 2. Now I can solve this equation, and I get that x equals 9. Since x equals 9, I can plug that back in to find BA, because again, I'm eventually going to be finding PA, which is a radius. So 2 times 9 plus 7 is equal to 18 plus 7, which is 25. So I know the entire segment from here to here is 25. Well, I also have a theorem that says that if I have a radius that is a 90-degree angle to a chord, I know that those two parts are congruent, which means that one of those is 12.5. Now I have a right triangle. I know that this is 8, this is 12.5, and I'm looking for my radii, which is x. So I'm going to set up Pythagorean theorem. 8 squared plus 12.5 squared equals x squared. So 8 squared is 64. 12.5 squared is 156.25 equals x squared. Add those together. I get 220.25 equals x squared. Take the square root of both sides, and you get that your answer is about, it's going to be hard to leave this in radical form, so we can just give a decimal, 14.841. So therefore your radius, or your radius PA, is 14.841. On number 2, well, this is work for number 1. For number 2, again, I know that these two segments are congruent, kind of based on what we said about the first circle. So x plus 6 equals 2x minus 1. To solve this one for x, I will get that x is 7. And now I'm trying to find PA, which is that segment, so I'm just going to plug that back in, which is 14 minus 1, which is 13. So segment PA is 13. And number 3, based on the theorem that two chord segments are congruent, two segments of a chord, see, chords are congruent, so two arcs of congruent chords are congruent. So I know that this is 2x plus 5, which means that this arc plus this arc plus this arc add up to 360. So 2x plus 5 plus 2x plus 5 plus x plus 20 equals 360. Now I'm going to solve this, and I'm going to get that 5x plus 30 equals 360. Subtract 30 from both sides. 5x equals 330. Divide everything by 5, and x equals 66. So since x is 66, to find the measure of ABC, I'm going to go ahead and plug that back in. So 66 plus 20 is equal to 86, and since this is an inscribed angle because its vertex is on the circle, I know that the angle is half of the arc. So therefore, angle ABC is equal to half of that, which is 43 degrees. Okay. Let's go on to the next problems. Okay, number 4, AB and BC are tangents, find x. We really didn't go over this because these are segment relationships in 9.6. But you do know that these two segments are congruent since two tangents intersect outside of the circle. So you could just do this one to get practice solving the equation. And in this case, I get that x is 9. Same thing on the next one. To solve for the y's, you know that the two radii are congruent, so y plus 3 equals 2y minus 5. And now you can solve for y and get that y is 8. Solve for x's, same thing. 2x plus 3 equals x plus 12. Solve for x, subtract 3, and x equals 9. So x is 9 and y is 8. On the last one, to find AB, the whole segment, you know that these two radii here and here are congruent. So 4x squared minus 30 equals 3x squared minus 7x, plus 7x, sorry. And now I'm going to combine like terms, so I can subtract 3x squared from both sides. Those cancel. I'm left with x squared minus 30 equals 7x. This is going to be a quadratic because of the x squared. So I'm going to subtract 7x. Notice there's nothing to combine that 7x with, so it's just x squared minus 7x minus 30 equals 0. Now I can plug this in my calculator or factor it to solve it for 0. So what are two numbers that when I multiply I get negative 30 and add to get negative 7? Those two numbers are negative 10 and positive 3. So notice negative 10 times 3 is negative 30 and negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. So my solutions are actually the opposite of those, which is positive 10 and negative 3. Okay, so then you need to plug both of those back in. These are two possible solutions. All right, moving on. Okay, number 7, find x. These are two central angles, and they are also vertical, so I know that those two angles are congruent, which means that the intercepted arcs are also congruent. So 3x plus 5 equals 2x plus 12. Solve the equation for x, and x equals 7. Okay. Next one, this is just like the first page. If you want to just get practice solving, that would be something good to do. So in this case, I want to subtract 7x and add 6 to both sides. So those cancel. I'm getting it equal to 0 because this is a quadratic because of the x squared. So x squared, there's nothing to combine 7x with, and 4 plus 6 is 10. So what are two numbers that when I multiply and get 10 and add to get negative 7? Those two numbers are negative 5 and negative 2, and therefore my solutions are the opposite, positive 5 and positive 2. Okay. And again, you need to check and see which one of those are correct. Okay, number 9, RL and WT are diameters. Find the following. So again, you're looking for x, which means what do all of these add up to? You know that since RL is a diameter, all of those add up to 180. So 3x minus 3 plus 2x plus 15 plus 2x equals 180. So now I combine like terms. 3x plus 2x plus 2x is 7x. Negative 3 plus 15 is positive 12. Subtract 12. 7x equals 168. Divide both sides by 7. And x equals 24. Now I want you to find TL. Measure of arc TL. So that goes from here to here. So I'm going to plug x in to find each of them. This one's going to be 2 times 24 plus 15. This is going to be 2 times 24. 2 times 24 is 48 degrees. And over here it's 48 plus 15, which is 63 degrees. So 48 plus 63 is going to be 111 degrees. Measure of angle RPT. RPT. Again, you're just going to plug in 3 times 24 minus 3. 3 times 24 is 72 minus 3 is 69 degrees. And the measure of arc RW. RW goes from here to here. Notice that RW is a vertical angle to this angle here. So to see again, here's my two diameters, here and here. So my two diameters intersect and therefore form a vertical angle to both of these. So it's actually going to be the same as arc TL, which is 111 degrees. All right, AC is a diameter. Here's your AC passing through the center. BD is 120 degrees, so from here all the way around is 120 degrees. And you want to first find x. So you know that both of these, 8x minus 3 plus x, if I divide those in half, it's going to be equal to the arc. Again, because this is an inscribed angle, because the vertex is on the circle. So my inscribed angle is half of that arc. So if I find the total angle here and here, it's going to be half of that. So now I'm going to solve this, which first I want to combine like terms. So 9x minus 3 over 2 equals 120. Multiply both sides by 2. So 9x minus 3 equals 240. Add 3 to both sides. 9x equals 243. Divide both sides by 9. And x equals 27. No, just 27. Oops. Okay. So if x is 27, what's the measure of arc CD? Here's arc CD. That means you have to find x, and if x is 27, again, inscribed angle is, you have to double it to find just what this arc is right here. So 27 times 2 is 54 degrees. AD, arc AD goes from here to here. And again, what do you know about this whole arc? That whole arc is a semicircle because it's the arc of the diameter. So therefore, you're going to subtract 180 minus 54. And you are going to get that arc AD is 126 degrees. Measure of arc BC, here's BC. Again, plug it in here. So 8 times 27 minus 3. 8 times 27 is 216. Minus 3 is 213. So arc BC is going to be Alright, so I just realized I made a mistake. We're going to start this one over. And that is because when I set up my equation, I should have done 8x minus 3 plus x times 2, because if I multiply this by 2, it's going to be equal to 120. I should not have divided. So now if I simplify this, I will get 18x minus 6 equals 120. Add 6, and 126. Divide both sides by 18, and I get that x is 7. So x is 7, apologize for that, which means if that's 7, that this arc is 14 degrees. So arc CD is 14 degrees, not 7 degrees. And therefore arc AD is still going to be 180, but you're going to now subtract 14 from it. So 180 minus 14 is 166. And arc BC, again, plugging in here, 8 times 7 minus 3. 8 times 7 is 56, minus 3 is 53 degrees. So now I double that, and arc BC is 106 degrees. And now angle BCA. Angle BCA is again going to be half of this arc here. So that arc is going to be 180 minus 106, because this whole thing is 180. So 180 minus 106 is 74 degrees, and half of that is going to be 37 degrees. So this one is going to be 37 degrees. Okay? I'm going to make another video for the next one. So look for the next video for the rest of your review packet, which is basically just numbers 11